for the ones who care.
Bang, 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 bang. What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. My name is hughwizzy and you're watching 90 more, back again after a mad Saturday. We've done one already. If you haven't seen that one, we've got the Liverpool defeat to Swansea summarised in the last 90 more. Make sure you go and give that one a like if you haven't already. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe because we are making slow, steady progress to that 100k. Now, I don't want to sound repetitive or actually leave some of the, smaller clubs feeling left out. So a quick mention for a few bits and bobs from here and there. Two of my favourite players this season, so far this season, are actually West Brom players. I never thought I'd actually be saying that. And they are Matt Phillips and Salomon Rondon, both of them who beat you in an arm wrestle. Phillips is quick and a great dribbler, delivers fantastic crosses on a daily basis, baby, please. And who's in the middle, muscling Tony Pulis into the top half of the table, but the Venezuelan man, the main Venezuelan man, a natural born killer who you just do not want to get in the way of this guy. Well, defenders actually do, but they're really struggling to handle him. 17 million for both of them is just fucking remarkable business in today's market, and an unreal strike from Chris Brunt too. Sunderland are desperately unlucky with injuries right now, it has to be said. I do feel sorry for Moyes, but I've felt sorry for Moyes for quite a few years now. It's actually painful to watch, but you really can't be too surprised. In fact, I just wasn't, because I predicted this would happen.
Right then, lads, it's time for this week's 888 Sport betting battle. This is where 888 have kindly given us £10 each to place a single bet on one of the games from this weekend's fixtures. Now, unfortunately, they've had to draw me in because last week you guys did shockingly and didn't bring any money home for charity, which is where all the winnings will be going, should we be able to do a little bit better than they did last week. And for mine, I'm going to be going for West Bromwich Albion to beat Sunderland, who don't seem to be able to get any goals from anywhere apart from Jermaine Defoe, and until they do, I can't really see them improving. So I'm hoping that is going to bring the quids in for the charities that we're going to be donating all this lovely winnings to.
Right, enough of the cheeky plugs. Sunderland, it's either spend the money or you're gone. And I reckon you'll make your money back just by staying up. But if you go down, you may well be gone for a while. Big Sam can't buy a win right now, and I'm sure that given his track record, he probably would if he could. And the rise of Everton goes on and on. They've been very impressive. And as much as Davies is getting a lot of the plaudits these days, Barkley is really coming into his own, and it's fantastic to see that potential finally being really fulfilled. He's a constant threat going forward, he's very creative, and he's just a decision or two away from being a top-class central attacking midfielder. West Ham are coping very well without Dimitri Payet. But I find it a little hypocritical seeing the way people have really turned on him, especially when Bilic himself basically begged to leave West Ham for a bigger club in Everton back under Harry Redknapp. And if they'd handled it differently, Payet might have stayed until the end of the season, like Bilic did, and like so many fucking West Ham fans are so keen to remind me that he did. But hey, you don't need him apparently, so why so bitter? Cash in and move on, no? Oh, I see. So you're refusing offers from the only two clubs actually coming in for him. Très intéressant. Happy to let him rot in the under-23s, yeah, and lose half his value like Berahino, who West Brom really could have got nearly 25 million for nearly a season ago, and now they've got 12. Cool. Manchester United, wow. I mean, a point against Stoke is no mean feat, so don't listen to what other people say. Except me, of course. But I truly believe that you've got to be winning games like these if you are to be serious challengers, and even challengers for the top four. And while the Bet365 is a really tough place to go, and I salute Mark Hughes for the way he is really transforming the idea of what Stoke City represent as a football club. And Stoke really actually defended very well. It stayed strong and stood everyone up. They were very lucky with their goal though, and only actually had one shot on target in the whole fucking 90 minutes. And this has to be, what, the umpteenth game where you've had over 20, sometimes 30 shots and have only found the back of the net once. There's a pattern emerging here. And as far as patterns go and the stylistics that are involved in a new haircut, let's talk about the weekly Pogba. He still needs to do less, just more of the simple things more effectively to really be appreciated, especially in England. But he'll work that out. Just stop always trying to justify the price tag because, mate, it's never going to be enough for some people. In his credit, I can say that he did set up Zlatan, who again set up Mata, who missed an open goal from 4 yards out. The less said about that, the better. He did also set up Mata, whose ball in then was quite blatantly handballed, I thought. And no, he didn't score a 40-yard screamer, so we'll revisit this one next week, all right? Sad that these are the times we live in, but, you know, we judge the player by the vines that he creates and no more, okay? But this game wasn't about Pogba or Zlatan or the missed chances. This game was about the legend that is Wayne Rooney, and yes, you heard me right. He may well have held the club to ransom and only stayed because one night in Manchester he was probably scared to come out of his house, but he's a legend, like it or lump it. He scored some incredible goals in his career, from the very first against Arsenal that I will never forget, as he smashed one home from about 30 yards, beating David Seaman top corner with the most accurate precision for a teenager. Was fucking phenomenal. And he really was, especially when he had that young hunger and tenacity that I think sometimes has gone these days. But Dennis, it was an absolutely fucking belter yesterday. Don't hate on the fact that he's getting on, and he's obviously in the twilight of his career, which he has been for a minute, it has to be said. Just appreciate that you've actually got a manager who understands how to use him, and be thankful that you've witnessed history as he bends another beauty into the top corner with a free kick that means it's now 17 games unbeaten in all competitions, lads. Can't complain. Can you? Oh, you can. Okay. Well, even Sir Bobby called him a true great, and that for me is how it is. He's been a great servant for club and country, top scorer for both, which is just a phenomenal record. And that is the end of that. Right then, onto the main juicy section of the video. The best game of the weekend so far for me, Manchester City against Spurs. And you guys know that I like Pep because, well, you know, I've got a brain and I like football. And if you didn't understand me last week, there's a link to the video in the description box below where you can catch up with that one. Another cheeky plug there. Make sure you go and drop a like on that video, you ungrateful I love you really, don't worry. But if you didn't understand me last week, you'll have seen it this week. What a game. What a fucking robbery. Let's not beat around the bush. They made a fantastic start to the game with high energy, creating a fuckload more chances than Tottenham did. And at half-time, I really don't know how they weren't 2 or 3-0 up. Oh no, wait, I do actually. Because as I've said a fucking million times before, alright, you're really starting to sound like a fucking smart ass right now. Aguero is not the same player right now. And for whatever reason, much as they look incredible in the attacking third, especially when they brought on the new boy, Jesus! Boy, that guy's good. But for whatever reason, Aguero cannot finish his dinner right now, and neither can half the rest of the side. But True Ballers FC, baby, will always be there to bail you out. And not only did Kevin De Bruyne pick out a young German from about half a fucking mile away, but we've got a new member in waiting. At least the potential of one in waiting. Someone who's very impressive for me, Leroy Sané. He's not even on the bench just yet, so let's not get carried away. But he is one that I've got my eye on. Got my fucking eye on you, son. Hugo Lloris, who I was so quick to praise on Twitter, had a fucking nightmare. Right embarrassing me, you little prick. He's a great keeper, but his handling is what Dirty Mike would call suspy as fuck. And he was debatably at fault for both goals. But wow, just fucking wow. Let's just fast forward to the robbery, the daylight fucking... It was basically nighttime, wasn't it? I give a fuck. The fucking robbery of the season. The most clear-cut penalty I've seen not given this century, when the much maligned, yet still highly underrated, underappreciated Englishman, for fuck's sake lads, get behind him, Raheem Sterling, was set through yet again. And while most of the time, I'll admit, he can't finish his dinner either, he's actually painted as this conniving miser who only shops in Poundland with all his millions. He gets the most blatant shove in the back from fucking Carl Walker, who's getting absolutely nowhere near him in time. And what does Mr. Dishonest do? What does he do? It is fucking Poundland bags. He stays on his fucking feet and carries through with the shot. Probably because he's so terrified that if he actually goes down, he'll get his face plastered all over the front page of the Scum all over again. They don't need much of an excuse, and you don't wonder why players dive or go down easily. And it cost them the fucking game as well. Pep was absolutely fuming. If there was modest Pep, right, on this side, now we saw this fucking burning, raging bull Pep. And I actually thought he was going to attack the fucking fourth official. And you can only wonder if he hasn't, or why he hasn't just given up on this shit already. Because the media want him to fail. It's just fucking laughable. I cannot. If you can't see through this bullshit, then I just question your intelligence. I'm sorry, but you probably want him to fail for the sake of your club as well. And I get that. What are we actually doing? What are we doing? Promoting Tottenham in the process. Great. A Spurs side that got absolutely fucking dominated, played off the park, that cheated and I'm sorry, they fucking cheated to play the opportunist and take advantage of blind officials who need fucking sacking immediately and demoting to fucking championship level, right? Well fucking played, you absolute clowns. Well played. Enjoy fucking English mediocrity, because that's what it is. That's what you love. And it's worked out so well for Spurs in Europe, eh? You clueless mugs. The one thing that I struggle to, but the one thing that I will say in favour of Tottenham is that their manager was very reactive. He deserves credit for that. To the fact that he saw that his side were getting battered and he made good tactical changes. He saw that they were getting dominated in that midfield and it was better to have more than two in there and switch to that 4-3-3 from the 3-4-3. He's not an idiot. That much I will give them. They have a decent manager on their books, but that's enough of the sound of my own voice for now. I've had enough. Incredibly entertaining weekend so far. I'm going to get back to watching more football. I hope that you're enjoying the videos. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are enjoying the videos, please make sure that you share the shit out of them everywhere possible to help the channel grow. Make sure you subscribe if you're new and drop the video a like if you breathe oxygen, which again, I'm really struggling to do right now. Subscribe, you lovable mugs, and I'll see you in the next one. For now though, I've been hughwizzy, and this has been a lot of sneezing after every 2 sentences that you'll never see because of the wonders of Everton. The wonders of editing, even. I'm done. Until then, peace, love to you all. Hope you're all good. Now subscribe.